So the remove tool has been a great addition to Photoshop and something that I've been waiting for a long time. Up to now, I mostly use the clone stamp for everything removal based, just because I can paint with it, I can be a bit more artistic with it, and I just really enjoy the process of using the clone stamp. But it's very reliant on what's there in the image, and it can make things look a bit unnatural. You got to be very careful with the edges. The remove tool is essentially like the clone stamp on steroids here. It's going into my mind, seeing what I want it to do and then doing it for me, which is fantastic. And if it doesn't, I can just go over it again and it generally produces the results the second time. So one of my favorite things I've been playing around with the remove tool that I'm going to now use it beyond the clone stamp is when I'm playing around with portraits. And this is purely down to the non-destructive nature of this tool now. So if I go into this image here, I've got a portrait of myself that we were doing for the band side. And as I go in, I have very, very frizzy hair, so I have a lot of loose hairs going around, and I end up with some wrinkles and stuff. So what I would generally do with the clone stamp or remove tools in the past is go around and get rid of some of this kind of loose hair, and then I'd go in and get rid of like any kind of skin imperfections and do some touch-ups with it. So generally I would grab the clone stamp, go over into these sorts of areas here with the black and just sort of paint those out, which works well, but you know, it takes a lot of time. Instead now, if I go to my remove tool on this image, I can just paint over these kind of little areas here, and it's going to do all of the work for me, which is fantastic. Again, it's another tool that's now in Photoshop that's going to save so much time with this type of thing. It's not going to get it right 100% of the time, but that's where if it missed anything, you can just go over it again. It'll generally pick it up the second time. But look at that, that's awesome, that is. And it's done all right at matching in with the black as well. So I'll probably go around like a lot of this area and just remove any of this kind of frizzy bits of hair that's sticking out. It's quite good this is on a black background because it's not sticking out as much, but on a white background, you know that when you have frizzy hair, it just sticks out and it can look distracting and messy to your image. So you want to always try and get rid of as much of that as possible. So you can see there's another line down there. So that already looks a lot tidier and neater, and that was a lot quicker and actually looks more natural than anything I would have been able to do there. Now, the reason I'm going to start using this tool more for portraits than the clone stamp in the past is because of things like skin imperfections and touching up stuff like wrinkles and stuff like that. You can see on the forehead there's two kind of wrinkle lines, and I've got this spot, which is where I ran into a brick wall when I was a kid, and I've kind of ended up with this mark ever since. So note to anybody, never run around corners at speed. There may be a brick wall. Now the reason I like this one is up here there's a button that's called sample all layers. So what we're going to do is we're going to tick that one there, and then we're going to go up onto layer new, and we're just going to create a new blank layer. So basically this tool is non-destructive, and for this we can have a little bit more control how we do our touch-ups. So what I'm going to do now is on my blank layer, I'm going to take my remove tool and I'm just going to paint it across that area, capture in my brick wall mark, let Photoshop do its job, and hopefully get rid of that and blend it into the skin, which you can see that it has done a great job of. I'm also going to go up here and I'm just going to grab that last little one as well. So that's kind of like removed all of my wrinkles and forehead lines, which is great. But when you're doing loads of touch-ups like this, you can start to make the face look really unnatural, really airbrushed, and you need some of these lines in here, things like smile lines and stuff. You need those in there. You don't want to take away everything completely. So in the past with the clone stamp, I would have gone over at low opacity and just sort of paint across this. So for example, if I take that layer off now, you can see that these are back because the removal tool has done the changes on this layer above, not actually on the original image. So I have untouched that. As an example then, if I took on my original layer, what I had previously done is pull the flow right the way down, grab another area close to it, and then go across like that. The beauty of this tool is, all I simply have to do is go over to the opacity and lower the opacity, and those lines will start to come back in there. So if you want to do some touch-ups but not get rid of everything that is there entirely, we can instead just lower this opacity line. So instead of me having full on wrinkles like that, if I brought that up to sort of 30% area, you can still see that they are present, but they're not as defined and they're not as distracting. The point of doing the touch-ups here is to take away any distractions that might be within the image and get your eyes to focus on the things that you really want to. So I'll find the right balance of that. So if we leave that around 50% and we toggle that on and off, distracting, better, but you can still see the vague outline there. And for me, that just makes the image a lot nicer. You can see as I zoom out and toggle that on and off, it's a bit more distracting looking up onto the forehead. But if I take that away, it's a lot nicer. Now this is then personal choice of how far you want to go. 100% may work in this case to remove it completely, but it depends on what touch-ups and bits you were dealing with. So for me, this tool's amazing. I love using it already. It's always saved me a lot of time on doing some of my music edits for people. It's definitely going to replace the clone stamp, I think, within portraits, but the clone stamp for me still has uses in landscapes. Although that being said, I had a landscape image earlier, which it did a really good job of removing on, whereby I had within this photo of Whitby Abbey, I had this section here that I wasn't keen on. And I also noticed that I'd missed a little bit as well in the sky up top here. So part of my process for exporting is to go over the whole photo and do some final little checks. So I just basically went over that with the brush, make sure I captured everything. Try not to capture the stonework because it's going to include that in thinking that's what you want. And so much easier and more natural than using the clone stamp. But if it didn't quite give the natural response you want, you can always then take the clone stamp, go in over the top with a really low flow up here and just blend that even further. Remember, you've got all these tools available for you now. But let's say I didn't like this little patch here. So let's get rid of all of that with the hope that it is just going to blend into the background and carry that sort of mountain across there. Let's see what it does. There we go. Pretty good job of that. Maybe some little kind of stalky bits that brought in that I didn't like. So I can just run over those again and get it. And look how quick this is. This is awesome. So there you go. Just a little trick with the remove tool in there. Try it out on portraits. This non-destructive capabilities of it is really cool. So make sure you just make that new layer first, have that sample all layers thing selected, and then start playing around with your magic. If you want to have everything in one layer, that's fine, or we can start to layer different things on top of that as well. So hopefully this video has helped you out a little bit with just a good idea on how to speed up your touch-ups. For me, this has already saved me a lot of time. And speaking of time, I'm also excited that I've finally launched my Lightroom course as well. So if you are regulars on the channel, you would have seen my in-depth edits that I've done already. I've finally taken the time, put it aside to create a full course that goes through everything in Lightroom, but also developing your editing mindset as well, so that you go in with the correct choices to make with your edits. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, it's going to save you a lot of time and give you that little bit more knowledge on how to do edits. You can check out the link in the description. There is everything you need down there to access the course. Try to make it affordable for everybody because I just want to impart knowledge onto you and help you with your photography, hobby, career, whatever you want to do with it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Please do like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.